Hi, I'm Rebecca. Welcome to my sewing room. This is So Be It. Today I'm really excited about the project that I'm making. I've had the pattern and the fabric for a while, and I've been planning to make this since I want to say right before or right after Christmas when I found the two. I decided I know what I'm going to do with this. So today, this week, the pattern is Simplicity S9041. You can make obviously 3 views, but you can choose multiples, the short and add sleeves, the short and add long sleeves, you know, change it how you want. I, however, am doing one of the basic ones since it's just now, it's March 1st today, and we're starting to slowly transition from winter to spring. But we have had a few of those warmer days where you can wear the lighter dresses, more spring-like dresses. So I will still be making the long length and long sleeve version. And then I can easily just throw on a sweater if I need to, throw on tights underneath if it's a little bit chilly. But it'll be great for those warmer days as we warm up this spring as well. So I am really, really excited about this. This pattern does call for a lot of fabric. My size needed, if you have 45-inch fabric, my size needed 6 5/8 yards, and for the 60-inch fabric I needed 5 1/8 yards. That's a lot of fabric, but I had already found the fabric that I wanted to use, and it wasn't actually regular fabric off the bolt. Funny enough, while I was doing my grocery shopping and walking through the store, I actually saw a sheet set that I loved the fabric pattern, the pattern on the fabric. So at Walmart, they carry the Better Homes and Gardens sheet sets. And I got the king size. It is a directional print, which is fine with me because I really like it. And obviously floral because I really like florals. But I could not pass this up because I just really like the fabric. It's a 100% cotton sateen bed sheet set. So it's quite soft. It will be decently, not like warm, but it'll be a decent layer of layer to wear for this time of year. So I'm really excited because of the light colors and the flowers, and I am just sick and tired of wearing hoodies and sweaters and jeans and leggings all the time. I'm sick of my hard pants. I don't want to wear them anymore. I want to wear my dresses, but it's just so cold. So I'm excited. I have all of my sheets in my pillowcases ironed and ready to go. I was going to size up at the waist, but because I usually do, I usually need to go up one size, but I forgot when I was tracing my pattern. I'm also not terribly worried about it because there is some ease in this, a few inches of ease in this. So we'll see. I might still do it just in case. There's some elastic like at the back waist if we look at the line drawings. So there's ties that attach to the side, but then they just tie in the front according to this. But then if you look kind of close on the back at the waist, it's gathered there. And it's gathered there because there is elastic in the waist. And then other than that, the only other thing you need other than your thread is your interfacing, because it has sleeve bands, not really cuffs, but bands to gather the bottom sleeve. And on the neck in the front bands, there is interfacing. I think that's it. There might be interfacing in the ties, but I'm not positive. I can't remember when I was tracing my pattern. So My next step is to get my pattern cut out, and that's going to take me a while. The skirt pieces are quite big. I haven't worked with skirt pieces this big in a while because I haven't worked with a dress this long in a while. I haven't made a... Goodness, it's actually been a while since I've made a dress. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get that taken care of. And then the next time you see me, I will have my dress pieces all cut out and we will start sewing. So I do have all of my pieces cut out. It is clearly getting dark, as you can see. As I've been reading through the directions, it seems like the beginning stages of this dress is pretty straightforward. So I'm not sure how much of it I'm going to actually record because I've done a lot of this stuff before, but I can tell you the steps that I'll be taking to put the dress together. Most likely I will go ahead and put the sleeves together on camera because these sleeves seem to be a little bit different from others that I have made, and I will most likely finish the dress off camera and just tell you how I did it. Most of this is probably going to be off camera. This is a pretty straightforward dress. It's not a wrap dress, it's just a dress. I will show you the pieces as I explain it. Alright, so for the bodice, that's the first steps of the dress. This is the front piece. As you can see, yep, there it is. There's a pleat right down here on the bodice. So the first step is to, as usual, stay stitch the neckline. You do that for the front and the back piece, but I'll be stay stitching the back when I start working on it because there's a lot of work to do on the front piece first. After stay stitching, you have to make the pleat. So in this case, you fold the pleat on this line out, like on the outside, you fold it out, and then you take this fold and you match it up to this line. There's a pin there, so I can't actually do it and show you. You can't bend it. But then, so that makes the pleat on the outside of the bodice, and then you baste that to hold it in place. After making the pleat, you go ahead and start working on the front band. Each front band, there's two here, these need to be interfaced, and then they will be attached to the front of the bodice. This way, like this, and then they will be stitched around here. You'll trim those seams and then be able to push them out. Oh, before you stitch them on, this long straight edge needs to be ironed and stitched under 3/8 of an inch. I should have known that because I wrote it right here. The seam allowance for the front band is 3/8 of an inch. So you basically make the facing for that, you fold it out, and then you will top stitch that on, obviously on the outside, because top stitching is on the outside, to secure that all the way around. Also, depending on the fabric choice that you make, it could be decorative top stitching if it's a contrasting color. I think I haven't completely decided yet, but I think I'm still just going to use white for this one. I don't really want the stitching to stand out on this dress. So then that takes care of the front bands. After the front bands, or after the front of the bodice is basically done, you go ahead and start working with the back bodice. Stay stitch the neckline, and then you'll stitch the front pieces to the back at the shoulders and the side seam. Once the bodice is all to that stage, you will put on the neck facing. This will also be interfaced, and this outside edge will be pressed in 3/8 of an inch. The seam allowance for the entire facing is 3/8 of an inch. And you'll pin this to the outside of the dress, just like we did the neckband, and stitch that on, fold it in, and we under stitch the neck facing to complete that. Also says on the outside to stitch in the ditch along the seam, because you will be, oh, you know what, I have to cut another one of those out. We don't do it the same way as the front band. I forgot that I need to cut 2 of them. One of them would be interfaced, and then we actually put that on like we do the neck bands on one of my button-down shirts, just without a collar. So in that case, you do still a generous 1/4 inch seam. It says on that edge. When I get to the neckband, because I'm not sure yet what I do, I will actually record that part for you. So I will get all the way through everything I've told you about the bodice, and then we will be working on the neckband when I come back. Alright, so far I have everything done on the bodice that I was supposed to do and told you I would do. Here's the front band. There's pleats, both sides, of course. And the back is just the back. And you can see here I've got the neckband on. This is not the facing, this is the interfaced one. So you put it on, you match your notches, right sides together. And then I have the seams pressed, the neckband pressed up and the seam pressed toward the neckband. While I was doing this, I may have ironed the facing wrong because I was so tired. So I need to find out if I did. I did. So I ironed over the notched edge. I'm not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to iron a generous 1/4 inch on this side. So I'll go ahead and re-iron that. And then to attach the facing to the neckband. So once I have it ironed correctly, I will be folding this back again and attaching the right side to the wrong side here at this edge all the way around, just like I did with the neckband itself. And I will be sewing that seam, and then the unnotched edge will be folded over like this. I will trim the seam so that it's not thick and tall. I will press the facing up and the neckband up to make sure they're where they need to go, and I will understitch the facing as far as I can. I think I might be let me go iron it, and then I'll figure it out. Okay, so turns out I didn't actually have to iron it, and so I re-ironed it and re-ironed it again. The notched edge is the one that's supposed to be ironed. On the outside of the neck facing, I will pin end to end, literally point to point here, and then I will stitch a 3/8 inch seam here, along here, and then I will understitch the facing as far as I can. So I'll do the pressing over the facing and pulling the facing up, understitching, and then before I fold it over, I also have to make sure I stitch these seams as well. And then I'll fold it over, iron that flat, stitch in the ditch on the outside of the neckband in this seam here so we don't see the stitching. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'll be back. Here is the neckline. I am not the best at stitching a ditch, but it's not terrible, I guess. It'll be fine. And that, I always have trouble lining that up, but that's where we're at so far. So now the next step is the sleeves. I have already sewed the underarm seam together. I have to gather the top between the notches, gather the bottom between the big dots, big blue dots that you can't really see a little bit on here. And then once their sleeves are ready, get your cuffs ready. So your cuffs have to be interfaced, and then the unnotched edge needs to be ironed up 5/8 of an inch and then trimmed down. So I do still have to trim mine down. After that, the next step for the sleeve is to press it under early, but that's okay. It'll already be pressed and I'll just stitch it. I need to stitch the seams together, matching my notches, and then fold this back up, which will be just fine, and trim that, and then pin this seam to seam to the bottom of this. That's the top, this is the bottom. The bottom of my sleeve, gathering the entire thing up to fit the cuff, and then stitching the straight seam. The cuff will go on the outside and the sleeve will be turned right side out. After that, I have to, press the seam toward the band, press the pinned edge, pin the pressed edge of the band over the seam. So then I'll be folding it in half and encasing the seam into the cuff, and then top stitching the cuff to finish that. Once the cuff is on, I will then insert the sleeves into the bodice and be back to tell you the next step. Alright, I got the sleeves all done, so here we are so far. I'm not sure that that's pinned in the correct spot, so the neckline may be higher or hopefully not any lower than it is. I think it'll probably be higher. Here's the cuffs. I do really like the size. The poofiness of them makes it a little bit fun. So now the next steps of the dress are pretty straightforward. First steps, I have to sew the front panels together, sew the back panels together, add the pockets into the side seams. It does say to reinforce the pocket stitching and to double stitch those pockets in. So I will be doing that just to make sure that they stay in there nice. And then I also have to understitch the pockets so that that's nice and crisp and easy to get your hands into. Once the pockets are in, obviously stitch the side seams all the way around. And then stitch the front to the back of the front of the skirt to the back of the skirt. Oh, that is the side seam. Duh. When I attach the bodice to the skirt, I have to make a casing in the back for the elastic. Let me double check that it's only in the back. Oh, actually, it's a casing not just in the back, it's a casing all the way around for the 1/2 inch elastic that I have to make to help cinch that waist. I have done that before, so you make 2 stitches when you are attaching the bodice. You attach it at, so I'll stitch a 5/8 inch seam allowance and then a 3/8 inch seam allowance. I may do 5/8 and a 1/4 inch just to make sure I have enough, but making sure that all of my edges are even and so the casing is closed. I really don't want the casing to be too tight on the elastic, but I also don't want it to be too loose so that the elastic gets all messed up in there as I wear it over time. So we'll see. And then the final step is the tie. So I will be folding, it's not interfaced or anything, I will be folding that right sides together and then stitching on all side seams, turning it right side out, pressing it, and then stitching it to the side seam, folding it over so that there are no raw edges to be seen, and then hemming the dress, and that would be the last step. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of that, and then you'll see the final product. Thank you for watching my video. I really hope you enjoyed it. This is a really easy pattern to make, and it's a really comfortable pattern to wear. I am planning to make the short sleeve and shorter version very soon for another spring dress, and I may actually make another version of this one as well. Maybe just a little bit shorter, I'm not sure, but I do absolutely love this dress. The pockets are really nice. I always worry about my side seam pockets pulling on the side seams with stuff in them, but it actually holds my phone, and you almost can't tell that there's anything in my pocket. It doesn't really pull the sides of the skirt in at all, so I do really like that. Probably helps that it is basted into the waistline of the dress, so it doesn't actually pull too much on the side seams, but that's really nice to have the pockets. This is a really good weight fabric for this early March time of year, for a good long sleeve and long spring dress. It's been quite nice these last couple days, and I've worn it a couple times over a span of a few days, and it has been really nice. It's about mid-50s, low to mid-50s, and it has kept me decently warm. I was able to go for a walk and not have to worry, even with the wind. Add a little bit of a sweater, and it is actually a really good transition dress. That's all I have for you this week, so thank you for watching my channel. If you liked this video, hit that like button. I love having the few comments that I've been getting lately, so keep them coming. Let me know what you're making. If you have any advice on anything that I might be able to do different when it comes to my sewing. Not so much my videos, because I'm kind of just learning as I go, so we'll see. But any tips that you have for me that I could learn from, any questions you might have that I might be able to answer for you, I'd love to hear from you. I think I already said it, but if you like this video, hit that like button for me, because it does help my videos. If you want to see more of my videos, hit that subscribe button, because that really helps my channel. hit that notification bell and you'll get notified when I do post my videos. Most of the time it's on Tuesday, but every once in a while you will see that I'm a little bit late. Hopefully you can bear with that, as you know, life happens and I do things other than just sew and make YouTube videos. Thank you for watching my channel, and I hope that you come back and continue watching. Thank you for watching Rebecca's Sewing Room.